Blog Talk Radio.
And welcome back to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. This is the Pistons edition. I'm Taylor Phillips, your host. And again, you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Google, Pinterest, and StumbleUpon as Taylor Phillips. And follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Same for Tumblr and Instagram. Guidelines. First, the phone number, 646-478-4837. Again, that's 646-478-4837. Guidelines, if you have called in, stay on the line. If you hang up by mistake, redial the number, and then stay on the line. Keep it very clean. Treat the show with respect, including me. And if you don't know much about this or any Detroit sports, you can still just listen. And only I can change the topic because I'm the host of the show. And when I change the topic, you'll hear this. And when the show ends, you'll hear this. So let's get started. Going to Pistons.com. Starting with the week in review. The Pistons only mustered one win, and that was against the only easy team they could play this week, the Sacramento Kings, and that was at the Palace Tuesday. Pistons beat the Kings 99-89. Sacramento led Detroit 31-28. After the first quarter, then led 54-52 at halftime, but the Pistons held the Sacramento Kings to just 11 points in the third quarter and scored 20 of their own, and that would make the difference as the Pistons outscored the Kings 27-24 in the fourth quarter and wound up with a win 99-89. Josh Smith led Detroit with 24 points and 8 rebounds. Guard Rodney Stuckey, Josh Smith's the forward. Stuckey's finished with 23 points, while Andre Drummond finished with 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Pistons were shooting well at the line that night, 84.2%. They only turned the ball over 11 times. There was a close edge on both the fast break points advantage and points in the paint. Also in total rebounds and offensive rebounds. Pistons led by as many as 16. And that brought them to Wednesday when they went up to Canada and took on the Toronto Raptors, and it was a sluggish game all along. Raptors win 101-87 again. First and fourth quarters made the differences. Raptors 29, Pistons 21 the first, and then Raptors 27-18 in the fourth. Second and third quarters were pretty close. Pistons outscored them 24-23 in the second, 24-22 in the third. Pistons only shot 41.7 from the free throw line. They were out-rebounded 54-39 and 15-9 offensively. Turned the ball over 16 times, as did the Raptors. Pistons only led by as many as 2. Raptors led by as many as 18. Pistons were outscored in the paint 44-38, but they outscored the Raptors 11-5. Brandon Jennings led the scoring for the men in blue with 24 points. Greg Monroe got himself a double-double, 13 points and 10 rebounds. So we move on to tonight's game earlier at the Palace against the Indiana Pacers on rivalry weekend, as a part of a rivalry weekend. The Pistons led by as many as 25, but they blew a lead and lost in overtime 112-104. They also lost Andre Drummond to a neck injury for the rest of the night. He had to be taken to the the locker room, at least. After he collided with Indiana's Roy Hibbert on defensive play. Drummond looked like on the replay he got elbowed by Hibbert accidentally. Pistons led 60-41 at halftime. Josh Smith led Detroit with 23 points. I was hearing that Drummond was taken somewhere for some further tests on his head and his neck. And we have no further update on Andre Drummond. He could be day to day. He could be out indefinitely. Who knows? We'll try to get an update here as the show progresses, as the podcast progresses. Just got an update on the condition of Andre Drummond, who injured his neck, from MLive.com. It says he's a little sore, but okay. A stretcher was brought out, but they took it back because Drummond still got up. Tests were negative, and his status is day to day. I'm going to tweet this link on Twitter, this article. Ronnie Stuckey had to replace Drummond immediately while the Pistons were trailing 10-9. And after Drummond's injury, the Pistons finished the first quarter on a 20-10 run to take a 29-20 lead to the second quarter. And John Lawyer quoted, "We hoped and prayed he was okay. It's great to hear that he's back here and feeling better. He's a big part of our team." Unquote. So that's good news for Drummond and the Pistons, who are still trying to make a push for the playoffs. Right now they're at 25-41. Going to the week ahead, they start another 4-game West Coast road trip. Wednesday in Denver against the Nuggets at 9 on Fox Sports Detroit. Friday they head to Phoenix, take on the Suns at 10. Saturday they take on the Clippers at Staples Center in LA, 10:30. Then on Monday they wrap it up against Utah at 9. They got to beat the Jazz in that building at Energy Solutions Arena. All games are on Fox Sports Detroit and on 97.1 The Ticket on the radio in the Detroit area, WXYT-FM. Then on Wednesday they return home, the 26th, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They look for revenge at 7:30 on Fox Sports Detroit and 97.1 The Ticket. 97.1 The Ticket. 97.1 The Ticket. Okay. Start a 2-game homestand. Friday the 28th, they take on the defending champion Miami Heat. 7:30 on Fox Sports Detroit, 97.1 The Ticket. taking a look at moving on to the NBA standings right now. Pistons are one game behind the Cavaliers. They now stand in 4th place in the Central Division. Cavs in 3rd place. The Knicks are a half game ahead of the Cavaliers, 27-40 in 3rd place in the Atlantic Division. So, and that leaves the Pistons 3 spots behind the Atlanta Hawks for the 8th and final playoff spot. The Hawks are 29-35. The Utah Jazz are already eliminated from playoff contention at 22-44. The Phoenix Suns are in 3rd place, still in the hunt, 37-28. 3rd place in the Pacific Division. In the Pacific Division, just about just 1 spot back of the Memphis Grizzlies for the 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. The Grizz are 39-27. Clippers are in 3rd place, 47-20. The Clippers are in 3rd place in the West, 47-20. They lead the Pacific Division. And finally, the Utah Jazz are also... Oh, wait, I mentioned the Utah Jazz already. The Denver Nuggets, the next opponent, 29-37. Not quite eliminated from playoff contention, but they probably will be, since they have a record currently below 500, 439 winning percentage. Division leaders, Miami Heat already clinched a playoff berth, 44-19. Pacers now improved to 49-17. They just won't let up after losing 5 straight overall. Raptors 37-27 in the Atlantic Division, 3rd place in the Atlantic Division. Heat are in 2nd place in the East. Pacers in 1st. In the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder lead the Northwest Division at 48-17. 2nd place in the West. I already mentioned the Clippers, so to the Southwest Division, the Spurs lead the West and the Southwest Division at 49-16. That takes us to college basketball scores. By the way, before I get started on that, I was going to ask what the Pistons would have, how the Pistons would have done if they had to play without Andre Drummond. That would be the question. That would still be the question. You can still call in at 646-478-4837. Was Andre Drummond a valuable asset to the Pistons, or didn't it matter because the Pistons still would not have made the playoffs? Anyways, they're still on the hunt, but I want you to think about it clearly. just for yourself. Now we go to college basketball scores. In the Big Ten tournament, Michigan nips Ohio State 72-69 in semifinal number 1. And then Michigan State finishes off Wisconsin 83-75. So guess what, folks? It'll be Michigan versus Michigan State tomorrow at 3:30 on CBS for the Big Ten championship. Yeah, the Wolverines and Spartans will go at it for a third time. This time in the Big Ten championship tournament game. Finals. The Big Ten championship tournament finals. There's one other college basketball score I'd like to share with you. The Western Michigan Broncos blasted the Toledo Rockets 98-77 to win the MAC Tournament Championship, the Mid-American Conference. So congrats to them, and congrats to the Wolverines and Spartans for making it to the Big Ten Championship Tournament Finals. And we do have other Detroit sports updates, including the Tigers. Them Tigers crushed the Astros 14-3 in Lakeland. Ian Kinsler hit 2 homers, including a 2-run homer. Max Scherzer went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 earned runs. Wasn't real sharp, but it wasn't as bad as giving up 6 runs or so. That would have been worse. But the Tigers piled on plenty of run support for Scherzer. Tyler Collins hit a solo jack. And Torrey Hunter hit a double and stole a base. Collins also hit a triple. It was at Joker Marchant Stadium in Lakeland. Kinsler finished 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored. Danny Worth also hit an RBI triple. Worth was replacing Jose Iglesias, who this just in will miss most. Who could miss most of the 2014 regular season with his shin injury. Worth finished 3 for 4 today with 3 RBIs. Collins finished 3 for 5 fell a double shy of the cycle. I also heard in the Tigers, in the Iglesias injury article, that the Tigers will try to sign Red Sox shortstop Stephen Drew, who won the World Series with Boston. And that's one of the things I'm going to explain to you people, Detroit sports fans, tomorrow night at midnight on the Tigers season preview, a special edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. That's going to wrap it up for the Pistons edition. So until tomorrow night at midnight, the Tigers edition, the Tigers season preview. This is Taylor Phillips saying TTFN, ta-ta for now.